This one tonight goes out to all my brothers in arms who are fighting for their lives right now. You may find yourself doing the same physically, mentally, emotionally, existentially, fighting for your life, struggling to wake up for tomorrow. And if you are, that's wonderful. That is a fantastic blessing. But do you even have that desire? And if you do, how is it looking down a little bit further down the road for the rest of your life? The big picture, the far future. So many of us today, as modern male human beings, trying to figure out the best course of action in dealing with the 21st century, are kind of drowning, kind of overwhelmed. It's just a little too much all the time. One thing I can guarantee you right off the bat is you will not be able to win this fight on your own. And community is fantastic to try and find love, to try and find that one special girl that is worth it all, is a worthy endeavor to build your own family, to find like minded people, your tribe, brothers, camaraderie, brotherhood. That's all fantastic. But for me to give you, in my humble opinion and in my own life experiences. So tonight's episode is very near and dear to my heart. This one's very personal because it is what I truly believe to be the very best foundation, framework, guidance, insight. It's all of it. It's all of it because He is everything and beyond. Yes, I am talking about God. I'm talking about the Holy Trinity. Is that the Godhead? If that's how Christians say that, which is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yes. If you haven't figured it out by now, I am a Christian myself, though I'm not going to take the conventional or the stereotypical Christian route. I just don't really know how to yet. I want to, maybe one day, but as of right now, all my stuff is super anecdotal. I cannot quote scripture for you. I don't even really, I'm not that well versed in the biblical stories, the actual events that transpired that, you could read all about in the Bible. There are it really is a manual for life. And so, yeah, that's going to be pretty expansive and extensive to cover anything and everything that you and I would want to know to win, like, to actually pull this off, to make it to the side where the grass is greener, to the promised land. Let me make this super practical, to a life that you genuinely enjoy, that you love, that you have always had a kind of picture for in your head, in your heart. In order to get there, what is it? What is so special about God, the Christian God, that makes this endeavor of seeking God and repenting to Him and being reborn through Christ? It is because if you try to go about this alone and you try to do this whole life thing all by yourself, that is a certain way to do it. It's not impossible, but you're going to be so hard pressed to find any semblance of true joy, peace, purpose, prosperity. I say that because it wasn't until I found God myself that it was revealed to me all of the evil and of the sin that I was doing, that I was actively participating in by myself, with others, and to other people. Whether you and I like this or not, how you move in life, how you go about trying to accomplish and go after everything that you want out of life, you are, in order to do that, you are going to inevitably run into people. There is simply no going around that. There are too many of us, and this planet is too small. Now, all my introverts, okay, all my homebodies, okay, all the men, all my fellow kings looking at me right now like, then I must be the exception because you may be living like that for as long as you have been. Years, brother, I'll give you decades of it's always the me, myself, and I vibes. You have a job, but it doesn't really require you to, interact with anybody else, another human being past an obligatory basis. Hey, look, I'm only talking to you because we really need to make sure this gets done and it's smooth and it gets done in a way neither of us are fired. So you got to deal with people. But besides that, that's it. It's just work. And then you go home, home is your haven, and maybe you live alone, and that's just what it is. And it's always been like that. That's fine. I'm not saying that doesn't work and no man should live like that. And maybe you could relate because you really do. Here's the thing though, it is at this moment, now, once again, according to God, that's one thing that I've learned the Father eternally represents. And this is the truth. What is truth? I am not entirely sure, to be honest. What I will say is that it must be like, I'm just speculating right here. It must be the absence of deception. There can't be any lying. There can't even really be any like playing around. You have to absolutely be so for real. Okay. That's how the youngins say it. It has to be your thoughts and your conclusions, your logic, everything that is passing through your brain so that you are able to convey, out of your mouth, or, I mean, okay, it doesn't even necessarily have to be audible, but however possible it is for a human being, physically, okay, by auditory, whatever, to convey some kind of message or meaning to somebody else. That medium that information is flowing through is all of you. Okay? It's how you feel, it's what you're thinking, it's the point you're trying to get across, it's what you're trying to say, it's what you're trying to tell that person. What I believe to be truth is just a human being doing that, or at least a form of truth. It's just a human being doing that as honestly as possible. You could ask me in different types of way. We could insert this in a different type of scenario, in a different kind of example. It just doesn't matter. The message or the meaning I am trying to give you will remain the same, because when you're being truly honest, that's one. That's a I see that as a very singular message. You're not going to be able to have any kind of different duplicates or replicas. Not when you are being as honest as possible. And that must be the truth, because anything outside of it couldn't be. Anything outside of it would have to be false in some way, shape, or form, even if it's by a little bit. This is how I understand the truth, through Christianity and God. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want you. That's what I want you and me to use right now. And when you do that with yourself in life, any man living solo, doing his thing on his own, however you have been doing it, however viable it feels to you, you might not be complaining. Most men don't. How could I? Bills are being paid. I have shelter, warm meals every single day. I'm clothed right now. Okay. You are not watching my podcast, Commando, at the moment. Okay. I'm not judging. I'm just saying most men have these basic necessities. They've really become your average American staples for everyday life. And you have all these things, and then you feel after those things are taken care of, you don't need anything else. And this is where I am beginning to paint a clearer picture for all of us, in this room listening to this episode tonight, who are living like this. After that, it's kind of wherever I live, that's just kind of where I vibe. I just chill there and I do what I like to do. And that's just life. And it just goes and goes and goes. Okay. Now you allow that same man who's been living like this years and years and years, possibly for my older kings, gray kings, decades. And you let him just search himself. Take some time. It's not that deep. Okay. But maybe, like 5, 10, maybe even like 15, 20 minutes. You sit there in silence and you really ponder this. And the question is, as honest as possible, if you could wish for it, if God himself came down from the heavens to grant you how you truly want your life to be, would it really be exactly the life that you're living right now? Nothing more, nothing less? For me, absolutely not. For me, it was no, I never thought it'd get like this, and it was really bad. But that's me though. I was able to say right off the bat immediately, okay, we're using the truth. Okay, I'm being as honest as I could possibly be. No, I want to be doing something else. I want to be living somewhere else. I'd want to be with someone else. I'd want to be doing something else. It was all of it. For me, it was my entire life. It was a complete top-down overhaul. And when you realize this, that is I believe this is one of the most difficult truths to bear for the modern man. That one really freaking hurts. Because when you realize this, you come face to face with the very daunting, the extremely challenging realization. Oh no, I do. I do want that, and I don't want it to be like this. What am I going to do about it? And that's where I can now truly begin with this connection towards the God himself, Jesus Christ, in that you deserve to do it with someone who loves you absolutely and unconditionally. I'm going to get even deeper into my own personal experiences now. I am not talking about having somebody hold you, though that is absolutely how it feels to truly connect with God and seek him through his teachings, through the Bible, through faith. No, I want to be more specific here. Someone who loves you absolutely and unconditionally would want the very best for you. I believe that's a being, that's a person that wants to see you succeed as much as possible, to live as your best self for as long as possible. You see, you and I know that this world and this life is very finite. You and I were born with a ticking clock. All right. A certain amount of time is going to pass, and then you and I, however it happens, will. This is a guarantee. One of the first guarantees human beings learn of. I found this out when I was super young. I don't know about you. You're gonna hit that expiration date. So it's not forever. It's not possible. Like, oh, this is so worth it because then I get to be my best self, self-improvement, self-actualization, all the all the hustle and hard work, the grind. Oh, it's so worth it because I take the time to do that and achieve all of that and really, level up and be my best self. I get to live the rest of my life as my best self. Well, how much of life are you going to live? That's not up to you. It's not up to any human being. It begins when it begins, it ends when it ends. So, if that's true, then it's very logical from that point forward to think of this whole life experience as no, it's not worth it to take the time and get super disciplined and try as hard as I can and get really, really good at something, put in all that effort, okay, all that strain to become excellent in some kind of skill, field, talent, endeavor. Why? According to what I just said, no man even knows how long he gets to be around. Why would he not devote it to whatever he wants to do? My answer to that is, brother, most of us, if not all of us, are doing that right now. Guys are doing that right now. This is the 21st century. Welcome to modernity. Welcome to the digital era. It has never been this easy and this fast and this convenient and this comfortable to live like that. So if you were to pick a time period so far up until, right now, present day, to just, under the constraints of society, unless you're going off grid, and that's you to go off grid is beyond me, beyond anything I could do for you here at my show, because I know nothing about it. I don't plan on it myself. Again, never say never. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I won't be able to stand this in a year, and I'll be going off grid myself. But until then, no, I plan on sticking around. I do. I know. I know how it looks out there. Not not looking good. Okay? But then again, that depends on the lens that you're viewing your reality through. So, if you're going to stay, you're not going to go off grid, move into the mountains, or go super rural with it. No, you're going to stay wherever you're living right now. Everything that you have, all the technology, the electricity, the job that you have to be able to afford all of that, to pay your bills, insurance, gas, etc., food, all that good stuff, then under the constraints of the world you and I have been born into, there is a bare minimum obligation right now. 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours. What are you clocking in, bro? Every single week. That's not negotiable. Many of us recognize and accept this. Okay. All right. I can't do anything about this. I will trade a certain amount of my life so that when I'm not working, I can live it in this way. So, what way? Whatever a man wants to do. Okay, legally speaking, all right. He's not like actively harming himself or anybody else. Well then, bro, there you go. Welcome to the state of modern male lives right now. I'm going to stop it here for a second and just ask you, is that the best? Is that like the greatest? Is that like as awesome as it could be? Is that everything that you want it to be? And all you need to do right there is just be real with you. Not me, not anybody else, family, friends, wifey. Like, no, it's not a you to someone else kind of thing. This is a you to you conclusion, conversation. And here at the Pillars of Man, right now, if you're still listening, brother, you ask yourself in this way. Okay, I was reborn, became a Christian, really started my walk with God, and just everything was a complete mess. Nothing was happening in the way that I wanted to. None of it. Not how I lived, not how I was waking up, how I was going to bed, not what I was eating, not my job, not my finances, not my love life, like none of it. And it's been a few years for me now, and I just can't help but trace so many of the different parts of my life that have been improving, because when the truth first illuminated exactly what needed to be done so that I could get out of all the things I wanted to stop doing, all the things that should not have been in my life. When I wanted to get out of that by myself, I was never able to, and I tried many, many times. Addiction's tough. Vice is tough. Comfort, pleasure, habits. That's really tough. And I was getting absolutely slumped. Week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out. I was getting absolutely KO'd. Okay, yo, let me try and get fit. I'll start some of these exercises. New Year's resolutions, right? I'd be done by like January 12th. Easy. Probably sooner. It's not that I don't even really, again, I don't know how. Don't want you to take this as evangelism. Of course, how could you not look at it like that? Be a Christian. That's what's going to solve all of your problems. It's more that because Father is the ultimate answer for everything. I truly believe there is nothing that exceeds God in this way. If you are looking for your best life, then you'll see so quickly following God is to follow what must be done. It is to straighten out your life. It is to properly align it. It is to move into the positive, away from the negative. It is to get healthy and cut out the unhealthy. That is such a beautiful real time occurrence of pure love. And you might not be looking at it like that right now. You might be hearing my ramblings tonight as kind of a, a crazy Christian, okay? Fanatically devout. And that's fair. But what it did to me in my life is very real. And that's why I want you to have the same. That's all this is. It's like you and I were born into a cage. That's not dramatic interpretation. No, I don't think so. That's not exaggeration. And it's a cage because if you kind of take your hands off of it, like, just as long as I have time for myself, however little that's become nowadays, as long as I still get time back for me, then everything else is kind of whatever. And that goes right back to the scenario I described earlier tonight. It's like, stereotypically speaking, that's the typical way a man is going about his business today. No woman, no family, not that many friends, or no friends. It's just a job. And the job is enough where he can go home because he wants to be left alone so he can continue to do whatever he wants. But that's so crazy. Like, this is where it stops making sense. It gets a little insane right here because for so many of these guys, you just sit them down, like in a plain room, kind of like you and me right now, just sitting down with each other. And it's just, nothing deep, like actually kind of chill. All right, bro. How is it happening right now for you? Life, everything, your reality, how you're existing. Okay. Contrasted with how you truly wish it to be. That that gap right there is the hard stuff. To go from here right now, as you are right now, where you are right now, to how you want it to be. Like, this is what is this? The transition from reality to your imagination and your dreams, your hopes, your goals, your greatest sense of joy, peace, and purpose. I couldn't do it alone. For me, an impossible endeavor. I just couldn't. I really just could not. And I only began to make true progress. I only really started, gaining some traction when I realized God is the representation of where a man needs to orient himself in order to become the version that you need to be to have what you truly want. That's what this all comes down to. For me to do that, I had to change everything. And the more that I began to change, the more that I began to see, this is everything that God would want his son to do. So much of it. It's all so biblically aligned. And that it like completely blows my mind. Okay? To become disciplined, to get strong, to train consistently, to get your finances right, to really get healthy, to really be able to do battle, because that's what it is, to effectively defend yourself against all the temptation of doing whatever you want after work, doing whatever you want on the weekends, consuming the sugar, consuming the process, consuming the junk, the deep fried, because I love all of that stuff because I know how good it tastes. I know how easy it goes down. Like real food, not so much. Unless you know what you're doing in the kitchen. To be honest, you can cook really healthy foods, simple recipes that taste amazing. Here's the thing though. For that to happen, and I'll just stay on this one example for a few minutes. Just for that to happen though, you would need to exercise your own free will towards a better decision that's going to help you be healthier. This is going to elevate you, biologically, physically, scientifically, because of the nourishment and the vitamins. Okay, the key nutrients that you're getting from real foods, organic foods, home cooked meals, water. Okay, that is a decision. That's a choice that an individual needs to make for himself. I know it's like, well, these are good dieting habits and choices, and that is supposed to be a connection to God Himself. Yes, yeah, I believe that. I told you tonight's very personal for me. I do. I don't know. I don't know if that lines up with like biblical doctrine. I don't know if that lines up with proper Christian faith. What do I mean by proper? I don't know. Maybe how the Pope would explain this, or actual priests, pastors, and friars, and elders. I don't know. All I can tell you is my answer is yes, because you're going to get better. That's why. Right now, it's just food. We're just on food. You're going to get healthier. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel more energized. You are going to be more resilient. Everything: skin, bones, organs, muscle, your immune system, nervous system, neurologically. You are what you eat. And that's why it's so important. And it's just, that's only going to be important, okay, quote unquote, to someone that really loves you, to someone that's really got your back like that, to someone who's really for you. That's all in the Bible. And it might not, I don't know. I don't think so. Like if I were to take a guess right now, no, I'm pretty sure it's not in the Bible. You're not going to like flip to a page where it's like, okay, real meat, all right, without all the, I don't know, injections or whatnot, actual greens, okay, less of this kind of green, okay, no chemicals, all right, try to stay away from the artificial flavorings and all that, okay, water, okay, fresh fruits and what, like, no, it's not going to be like that. But all of this is going to help you, though, raise yourself up towards a higher version that is doing better in life. Okay, let's get off food now because I'm actually getting a little bit hungry. If you use the example I just gave with food and you plug this in to any part of any aspect of life, a man is going to have to put his focus on because he knows he needs to do better in this area. So, diet, discipline, scheduling, procrastination, laziness, addiction, temptation, pleasure, consistency, pick any of them, pick all of them. Because I think for you to have truly what you want in this world, it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt anyone else. I mean, for a lot of guys, that's just a wife. That's just his own family. And that's just being financially free so that he can support himself and his family and his loved ones with no stress and no worries. Oh, and let's throw one more in there to be able to do all of that without hating any of it. God knows how many men on child support absolutely detesting that situation. How many guys making the big bucks hate themselves because they dread work. There's nothing about it that they want to be a part of. To really be able to get there in life, you are going to have to put up with so much. There's no avoiding this. It's just not possible. The difficulty is guaranteed. Like it is going to be difficult. No matter how much you love it, enjoy it, I found my life's passion. You are not going to be able to skip the phase where you don't want to. You just don't feel like it. This is really hard. This is taking a really long time. I have to focus on this for how long? Oh, I'm not talking about hours. I'm not talking about for how much longer until I'm done today. No, I mean, this is years. These are whole lifetimes. Dedicated to what? Dedicated to you taking it as far as you can. In life, when a man tries to do that by himself without the alignment of God, there is so much potential there for it to go awry. I believe in the Bible, even being as close as you possibly can to God, it still goes awry. This is as I understand from Dad, this is a fallen world. You and I are surrounded by evil. It is everywhere. You and I are born into it. It's in us. You and I are capable easily, too many willingly, of evil. It's so much bigger than you and me. And that's why it is it is an honor. It is a blessing. It is a privilege. It's the greatest uh, benefit of all time for a human being to give their lives, to submit, bow, and respect the one bigger than what's bigger than you and me. See, this is what I mean. Life is so hard. Life is so tough, bro. And you have to understand that no, you are not alone. No, you are not unloved. No, you are not lost. That you are beyond redemption. Not when you get real. Not when you go to God and you get into whatever you need to with him that has nothing to do with me and nothing to do with anybody else. Oh no, these are the darkest, the deepest parts of you that need healing, that need forgiveness. It takes humility to be able to do that. It takes this ability for you to see I do not want to live like this, and even if I do want to, I know that it's wrong, so I know that I'm continuing to do what is wrong, and that is eating me alive. All of this packed into the modern male human experience. I do, because personally, I get compliments for my body. I get compliments for looking healthy. People tell me that, and I've never heard this for 30 years of my life. It's only, these past few years, people telling me, you're calm, you're very relaxed, you're not frantic at all. And I mean, see, what's crazy is that uh, I I get I have mild social anxiety. It used to be crippling. It's so much better now because of God. And I'm winding down now. I don't have too much time left. So let me like really. I'm gonna try to encapsulate everything that I just said by ending on this. It absolutely begins with you believing. You know, because it's not like you buy a Bible and you start reading it and then you get all the cheat codes and then that's it. You're all set. I believe it. If the word were that powerful to a dramatic effect of that manner, then what need would there be of the Lord Himself? The word helps you understand and get closer to Dad. How that really happens is you must place your faith in it. One of the most hardcore lines I've ever heard from the Bible, and it was hardcore because it attacked me. It came right from my jugular. That's kind of violent. That doesn't sound very Christian-like. But no. And it's because I had fortified myself in ideals and philosophies, however beneficial, however positive, however altruistic and virtuous. This one line hit me to my core, and it was that without faith, nothing you do could ever please God. Which, to me, my personal interpretation is you must, above all, believe. Okay, God first, but then after that, you'll see that your life, you right now, as you are right now, you need belief in all other areas as well. That is so hard to do alone. How much easier would it be to have someone believe in you? And if I told you, God already does. He's just waiting for you to choose Him because He is a God that does not force Himself on anyone. That's just not how it works. There's a little something called, free will that He put into human beings. So it is of your own volition. Your choice, brother. But if you go home, if you return to the Creator who made you wonderfully and fearfully, and you really go to Him with everything that's burdening you, how bad you really messed up. That thing that you believe there's no coming back from, your greatest regret, the misery that was born from that's been haunting you every single day. All of it. Like this is like the most difficult stuff, the toughest stuff. You take all of that to God. And you mean it. You mean it when you say, I am sorry. You own up truly for what you did wrong, for how you did wrong. And then after that cleansing, you give yourself to God. I believe that how a human being gives him or herself to God is you are real. Of course you're real. I believe in you. They may or may not, but I do. I really do. And then God may challenge you in this way. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's biblical. I don't know if that's how that works. I believe I was challenged. Dad, I believe in you. I know you're up there. Do you? A reply from God. Do you really now, son? And that's where the road begins, where you have to start doing. You have to bring it into action now. How much? Okay, you believe in God. All right, but then are you going to be able to do what God would want you to? Have the belief you can get healthy, you can get sober, you can do this. And no, not alone. With God. Okay? You get yourself a Bible. You take your time. It's thousands of pages. I've been reading it for 2 years now. I think something like that. Maybe 3. I don't even want to say 3 because I feel embarrassed. Real talk. But I think it's 3. I think I've had it for 3 years now. And I'm on Jeremiah 6. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't read it every single day. I should, but I don't. Just being real. So, yeah, it's very long. You take your time. You'll need it. But you start going through it. And my promise to you is you are not going to find a superior source of love, of trust, of just connection, of understanding. God being the author of all of it. Created you, created me, created everyone, created everything. So he knows you better than anyone else possibly could. It is like true understanding. Whereas therapists, psychologists, scientists, I don't know, the best and brightest of us, okay, doing all their calculations, all their observations, all that deduction, okay, to figure out why are you like you. Doesn't come close. Pales. All of it pales to how well God knows you. You don't believe me, you'll see it. You'll see it. You're literally word for word. I guarantee you'll see it. Why? Because this book, the Bible, is about us. Is a gift. I believe because Father knew exactly what you and I were going to get into after having been born. And that was like, this should help. And so the Bible, yeah, you and I are in it. You and I are in it. Not as actual characters, but see, that's the thing about being human. There are patterns. There are tendencies. There are desires. There's virtue and there is sin. There is the good and there is the bad in all human soul. Your finest understanding so that you can self-actualize. God is actually my Well, of course he is. Of course he is. After an episode like this tonight, obviously, but for good reason. No, no, it's not because I just want to come here on the internet and get in front of people and be like, "Ooh, Christianity." I mean, yes, but at the same time, my deep passion and motivation to do this, and like my own personal reasons, and yes, of course, I'm trying to get monetized, bro. That's one of them, but the biggest one is the link self-improvement, self-discovery, and self-actualization has to the Almighty Himself. The very best version of you that is going to live, come alive, okay? That ultimate version of you that is going to experience the rest of your life when you just, you really start doing what you know you need to. You really start doing this the right way, the proper way. God already knows that version of you, which means God built you in a way that you have those capabilities and you have those capacities that make it possible for you to become your best self. So you're just reaching the best form of you God knows of. If he knows and he built you in this way, it is God's intention. Self-improvement, if I wanted to, and I do, in my old videos, you're not going to hear me mention of God. I try to get practical. I try to get really grounded in just the terminology of, what is most useful and valuable for you to have your best life. Whether I say it or not, a man self-improving as best as he can is a natural and inevitable pathway to God. You are chasing the best of yourself, the best of how Dad built you. That's why I kick things off tonight with, if you're fighting for your life, I think if you're fighting for your life, like you really are, like it's really hard right now to keep going, to keep up with just everything. And you do need help. You do deserve someone who would fight for you in the best way possible. That is the Lord God, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You definitely won't be the last episode you see here on the Pillars of Men, where I go as deep as I can into the importance of God for any man's spirituality that's willing to take his best life seriously. And I thank you so much for being here. I thank you so much for chilling, vibing with me. And you like content like this, then by all means, hit that subscribe button for me and check me out here at the Pillars of Men podcast. That's what I do. I go into a little bit of everything and anything that revolves around God, anime, movies, philosophy, and bodybuilding, all aimed at helping any man become his best self. Take it easy, brother. I hope to see you real soon for the next one. But until then, take it easy. Take good care of yourself. And I love you so much. Peace.